Thank you for staying with us. The conversation this morning is still about the polity for right now, especially in preparation for 2027, because take it or leave it, the politicians are already strategizing, they are aligning and realigning, and they are speaking. Many of them who have been quiet for more than a year, all of a sudden, in the past few weeks or months, they have found their voice and they are speaking hard, speaking tough about what the government of the day is doing wrong and the alternative that they are bringing. And that's the case with the ADC right now. And one of the proponents of the ADC, the arrowhead, is the former governor of River State, Rotimi Amaechi, that was recently seen out of a forum where he spoke and talked tough on a range of things that are still controversial right now. So speaking for the people, should we discard the messenger and talk about the message? And then does his message resonate with Nigeria, or is somebody who is speaking from different sides of the mouth? I allow you to be the judge of that. Take a look.
The elites of Nigeria are not a problem of Nigeria. We are not up to 20,000 elites that are stealing Nigerian money. Okay, no problem. 100,000 elites. But you have 200 million Nigerians that can fight 100,000 men. And then you sit down in your house and you're complaining and grumbling. What makes you think that the elites will move their hands from the ceiling? If all you do is sit down in your house and grumble and organize one small lecture on how you're feeling. Who told you the elites don't know how you're feeling? They know how you're feeling. They know you're not happy. If they don't know, you will not see them in their girlfriend's house after 6 p.m. You know why? Because they are running away from you. They are scared. But you are helpless, not because the elites want you to be helpless. You are helpless because you make yourself what? Helpless. So why are we gathering here? What survey? No matter the survey you bring up today, the elites already know that I was once a governor. The moment I see robbery, kidnapping, I know that there is no money in the society. So Commissioner for Finance pay contractors, pay those who are owing. When he pay, what happens? He pays his workers, he pays these people who have suppliers who have supplied him goods. They in turn go to the market, they buy goods, they pay the tailor, they pay the doctor, the money goes around, and then the crime wave will reduce. I had that board in my office, I checked it regularly. Do you know how I check it too? By making sure I go to night parties. I'm not a night party person, but I go to clubs with minimal or no security. So I test if my life is under threat, then there is danger, there is problem. What's the problem? Economy. Okay, when you tell people, Tinubu was not elected by them. So what did you do? What did you do? The same elites who rig the election are on the street. What have you done? No, for Christ's sake, until Nigerian citizens stop blaming the elites, nothing will change in Nigeria. Absolutely nothing. The next election may come and go, and somebody puts himself in power. You say, no worry, now only 4 years. After 4 years, he will go. He will come and say 8 years. Nothing will happen. In fact, if one madman comes and says, I want to do life presidency, you will do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just pray that there is no madman that will come and say, I want to do life presidency. Because all he will do is say, Chief of Army Staff, IG of Police, Custom, everybody, and put his own men, carry gun, and you run away. Go to Bangladesh, right? The day they got tired of that woman, what did they do? They chased her out. Go to, is it Peru or Chile? Nigeria is the most docile society I have seen in my life. You're clapping for this. If we line up the thieves here now, you clap for them. You know, I told my wife, I want to Jabba. If I want to Jabba, I won't Jabba like you people. They will give me official visa to come and stay in their country, any country. She says, no, I can't leave Nigeria. Because Nigeria is lovable. It's lovely. I mean, if you go back to when we were students, And the last time this country saw something that looks like revolution was when we were students, 1983 to 87. Who were the people that fought the military government? Not you. It's not you. NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students, ASU, NLC, they are dead. Imagine them arresting somebody who says he was NANS president. In our time, he arrests our president. All the universities in the country will be on strike.
That was former governor of Rivers State, former minister Rotimi Amaechi, said, a lot, in that particular program. I mean, this clip that we have watched as well, many things was captured, were captured in the things that he said. He stylishly talked about how revolution happened in the past and how Nigerians have not been able to do anything, even if they are complaining about the policy of the government of the day, how the people of Bangladesh, chased out their leaders. And, when politicians speak in this way, they know what they are saying. We have one politician with us who is a public affairs analyst as well, Mr. Isiaka, Babatunde Gbadamosi. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Gbadamosi. All right. What do you make of the words of Mr. Rotimi Amaechi with everything that he has said so far?
Okay, very much. Mr. Rotimi Amaechi had quite a lot to tell Nigerians, and I am taken aback that we have leaders who put away, because for me, most of the statements he made shows a lack of disconnect with Nigerians. One, two, I also see most of his statements as being reckless, as being very lacking in empathy or even the thought of what Nigerians are going through. Telling Nigerians to go on the street, telling Nigerians that those are, for me, is condescending, it's insulting, it's not use of language and approach for a political figure and actor like him. And I think he should rethink the way he addressed Nigerians. Rotimi Amaechi is one person who, if you look at his antecedents, has not really participated in any kind of enterprise you can really relate to in the country. So I don't think he really understands what it means for Nigerians to go out there and work hard to survive, to go out there to feed their family and all that. So to now be telling Nigerians that they are docile and they should come out and protest and all that, for me it's a slap on the face of Nigerians and it's most appropriate. It's a very good way of acting.
All right. Stay with us. We'd like to take a quick break. The program will continue.
Can you imagine the feeling when you get your news as the break with fact and clarity? How entertaining do you want your entertainment news?
There can only be one African queen!
What about sport?
What a touch from Welbeck! Piece of improvisation, instinctive thinking, tactics.
Don't you want your sport analysis delivered by knowledgeable hosts? Top trending news served hot and juicy as the break. Western Spring Television, WSTV, Yoruban Yoruba channel for news.
Western Spring Television, ours it is.
Here are 5 amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1, there are over 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold every year.
Most Christians believe in heaven and hell.
The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss.
Within seconds, nuggets of words that flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bonded.
Until Nigerian citizens stop blaming the elites, nothing will change in Nigeria. Absolutely nothing. The next election may come and go, and somebody puts himself in power. You say, no worry, now only 4 years. After 4 years, he will go. He will come and say 8 years. Nothing will happen. In fact, if one madman comes and says, I want to do life presidency, you will do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just pray that there is no madman that will come and say, I want to do life presidency. Because all he will do is say, Chief of Army Staff, IG of Police, Custom, everybody, and put his own men, carry gun, and you run away. Go to Bangladesh, right? The day they got tired of that woman, what did they do? They chased her out. Go to, is it Peru or Chile? Nigeria is the most docile society I have seen in my life. You're clapping for this. If we line up the thieves here now, you clap for them. You know, I told my wife, I want to Jabba. If I want to Jabba, I won't Jabba like you people. They will give me official visa to come and stay in their country, any country. She says, no, I can't leave Nigeria. Because Nigeria is lovable. It's lovely. I mean, if you go back to when we were students. And the last time this country saw something that looks like revolution was when we were students, 1983 to 87. Who were the people that fought the military government? Not you. It's not you. NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students.
Thank you. That's an excerpt of the speech made by Mr. Rotimi Amaechi. And of course, joining the conversation further is a public affairs analyst and a politician himself, Architect Gbadamosi. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
Yeah, at the other end, we have Mr. Isiaka Gbadamosi. Are you still with us, Mr. Gbadamosi?
Yes, Mr. William.
All right, thank you. Architect, let's take your impression of the speech by former Governor Amaechi, which many persons, many groups have been coming out to say you are trying to incite Nigerians with what you are saying. But what's your total general impression of this particular talk, Mr. Rotimi Amaechi of the ADC?
Well, there is a part of what he said that I completely agree with, and I think it's absolutely the truth that Nigerians are not doing enough to make changes to their lot, and we seem to just like snails that are put in water, cold water at first, and then they come out, and gradually you get the water heated up until they are cooked. Around the meat. So that is true. The part that I may be a little worried about is when he veered off into saying that we fought the military, we fought, So it should not be about fighting physically. It should not involve violence. Yes, I was part of, in the background, those that said SARS should end, and then we had the end SARS and all that.
All right,
and all
Architect, I think we have to work on something at your end. Mr. Gbadamosi, can you hear us? Mr. Gbadamosi, are you there?
Hearing.
Okay, Daniel.
Mr. Gbadamosi, looking at Mr. Amaechi's speech right there, one key takeaway from me was his choice of words. When he started, he said, "We are not up to 20,000 elites that are stealing Nigerians' money." He used the pronoun "we." So don't you think, Mr. Gbadamosi, that he actually indicted himself in that statement as well? Mr. Gbadamosi,
yes, obviously he did indict himself, and I think he's also speaking to the. I think he's also speaking to the.
Unfortunately, I think we lost connection with Mr. Gbadamosi. And let me even throw the question to you, Architect. From what Rotimi Amaechi said, when he started, I was looking at his choice of words. He said "we." He said, "We are not up to 20,000 elites that are stealing Nigeria's wealth, Nigeria's money." So he included himself by using the pronoun "we." So don't you see it as, self-indicting? So he's actually, acknowledging the fact that he is part of the people who are stealing Nigeria's wealth. What do you say about that?
Well, I don't have any microphone on me right now. But if I speak loud enough, will I be heard?
Yeah, you are being heard.
Okay, so he already admitted it, and that's quite polite and modest enough of him, because here is somebody that had never really done any work in his entire lifetime. He was asked what else he does outside of politics. He said his wife is an industrialist, and Minister Wike has come to say, "Oh no, that's not true." And back and forth, and they've been against each other. They have also indicated how Wike's father is actually not a general manager of any company. And all of a sudden, in fact, some have even said, "Oh, he's groused against the Anglican Church because Wike said something about the Anglican Church that once you walk into the Anglican Church, they're asking for one thing or the other." And some people said, "Oh, he used to pilfer from the Anglican Church when he was young, and that his father was expelled as a priest of the Anglican Church before he went to..." So all kinds of dirty things that they are saying. But one thing is common to all of these people. They made their riches from the riches of Nigerians, from our own common purse is where they made their riches. Go along the streets of Port Harcourt today, half the properties in Port Harcourt are owned between Amaechi and Wike, these two people. So if Amaechi is admitting and saying "we" to themselves, because I am not among such people, it is very true that quite a number of them have never done anything. They have nothing to point to as the alternate office that you could relate to for business or for some professional services, and they are there. And they have no history of hitherto doing anything or having family wealth that they can say this is the source of what we are doing. So he is quite correct. But I want to go back to the issue of Nigerians being docile, because I am more interested in that. It is true Nigerians are docile, but the way I look at it is different from the way Rotimi Amaechi looks at it. The docility that I believe Nigerians have would have more to do with not registering to vote, not going out to vote. I am not going to be about all these suggestions that he made that when they were students between 1983 and 1987, they did some fighting. I don't know who they fought and why they had to do any fighting.
He made an example of the Bangladesh and situation.
I do not
support. The people pursue the leaders, and
I do not support that. That could honestly be inciting. If you want to pursue anybody out, it is pursue them out through the ballot box. Go out to vote. This fable that no, your votes don't count. It is because they are not large enough. If they are large enough, they will count. When see how many people registered to vote for the elections, I think 93 million or whatever the figure was, and then only 8 point something million people voted for the man who is now ruling us in Nigeria today. And I've done my studies to discover that there is nowhere in Nigeria today that any election held that up to 30% of the eligible and registered voters went out to vote. We even need to conduct a study further and find out what is the percentage of the people that are old enough to vote that actually registered, the people that are eligible. So there must be even a smaller percentage. I am hazarding a guess that perhaps only about 50% of those that are eligible to vote went out to register at all. And then out of those that now go out to register, only about 30% will come out to vote.
Less than.
Nigerians are docile. So, but the docility that I'm talking about is not about going out to fight. If it needs that we go out to protest occasionally, and there is a marked difference between fighting and protesting. Protesting is saying we do not like this, and we can do it in a nice and quiet way, the way EndSARS was organized. But it was the government that went against the people and started killing. And so ordinarily, I don't mind a situation like EndSARS. There was also a protest about this time last year, July, August last year, you know, that was supposed to last a number of days. And after a number of deaths and other such situations too, that ones too was aborted. So what you cannot abort is a movement of the people through the ballot box. And the foray of Peter Obi into the presidential election without a structure is an indication to us that if we would have a symbol like Peter Obi and there would be a structure to back him up, I can assure you that there would be a change in this country, and that docility would be a different story. So it is true we are docile, but the change we require is through the ballot box.
Through the ballot boxes. Well, in the case where the system is not working, in the case where the system is rigged, what should Nigerians do? You talked about the EndSARS protest. Right now, Nigerians are not even protesting. It seems as if Nigerians, he talked about Nigerians being docile. That's talked about Rotimi Amaechi. He was referring to protests there. That Nigerians will do nothing. That even if a madman wakes up tomorrow and says he wants to be president for life, that Nigerians will do nothing. So why are Nigerians not protesting? We're having economic hardship. I mean, things are not working fine, but people are not protesting. Are they being suppressed by the government?
Partially, they could be suppressed, but more importantly, they are being bought so cheaply because this same government, we have trauma bonding in this country. The kind of trauma bonding we have in this country may one day have a peculiar name of its own. In Stockholm in 1973, some armed robbers went into a bank, stole some money, and later started doling out some of the money and buying things for members of staff there, held them captive for a number of days. At a stage, even when the police wanted to come and rescue them, they didn't want the police anymore. They were so happy with the armed robbers around them. And that is what we call the Stockholm effect today. There is the Niger effect. The Niger effect of people stealing us dry and then coming to give us pittance. After they have bought yachts, bought Airbuses, Cadillacs, Jeeps for all the parliamentarians, mansions, you know, all kinds of illegitimate riches, then they now come and give you 20,000 for your vote. At Christmas, they give you 5,000. They share like thousands of bags of rice. At the National Assembly, they share only a tenth of it. They convert the rest into money to buy your... So that is what is happening. It is not as if... And some people are so complacent with it. But the rest of us that are talking, you gave me a short notice for this interview. Here I am, because I know that I need to talk. That is what I am all about right now, to wake Nigerians up and recognize that you cannot continue sleeping like this. And you must come out, register to vote, and vote at the next election. But the example that Amaechi gave, that a madman would come and he would say he wants to be president forever, would never happen in Nigeria. Because Remember, I am a pastor. There will always be the God component of issues, and there will also be certain other person's components. We have had 2 people in this country who had wanted to extend their tenure. In fact, 3. Babangida extended his tenure up to a point, dribbling everybody. We called him Maradona. Eventually, he dribbled himself into a corner, and Abacha took over. And when Abacha took over, he was going to ride on the 5 fingers of a leprous hand, as described by my late Uncle Bola Ige. And what happened? God took him out. He said, no, you cannot do this. And then there was our big uncle too, Baba Olusegun Obasanjo, who was going for a 3rd term. There was no... People like the new Olubadan elect, Rashid Ladoja, are still alive to tell the story. Baba Obasanjo wanted a 3rd term. No matter how good all those things, other things that we will say about Obasanjo, that's fault you cannot deny.
Right.
And the people stopped that. So no madman can actually extend his tenure in Nigeria.
Right.
The only thing that the madmen can do is steal us dry, which the people like Amaechi are already doing.
Okay, all right. Mr. Gbadamosi, I'll come to you now. We apologize about that connection. It's just technology. Now there have been, sticks and bricks, slams all over the place against the man, Rotimi Amaechi, to say, you know what you are doing. All of a sudden, you have found your voice, and now you are speaking, quote and unquote, for Nigerians, and you are trying to wake them up to start to be docile. And the example you gave is about, the Bangladesh situation when the leaders were pursued, the Chile situation, and all of those things. And you said Nigerians are known for being docile, clapping for thieves, and they are doing nothing. And if actually he wants to japa, he will japa in a more honorable way, and it's just because of the love for the country. Now that he's in the ADC and they are gunning for the same seat of Mr. President in the Tinubu Must Go project 2027, don't you think he knows what to do and is intentional about causing trouble?
Okay, let me be clear about something.
Yes.
Mr. Rotimi Amaechi is not, for me, not patriotic. He's not somebody who is fighting for Nigerians. He mentioned something about being on the streets and fighting the military. I really want to, I want him to zero in on when he did that, actually, whether as a student union leader or something like that. For me, one of the things that is quite evident right now is the fact that Mr. Rotimi Amaechi has shown us that each time he's benefiting from the common patrimony of Nigerians, he is comfortable and would not speak. When he's eating, he doesn't speak. Now that it's no longer on the table, now he's speaking loud and clear, and we are knowing who exactly he is. He's showing it to us and throwing in our faces that he doesn't care about Nigerians, that he cares only about being in power. And that's exactly what he's doing. I am a bit taken, I don't want to discuss the statements he has made in any contest, rather than the context in which he put it. And that context is that he sees Nigerians as instruments of he could use to protest on the street, to become like a Bangladesh. Bangladesh has been in turmoil now for close to 3 decades. They keep having issue, protest, and all of that. Is that what Mr. Amaechi wants us to become? No. I want to know what kind of protest has he led? What kind of student unionism has he led? How many times has he put his life on the line for Nigerians? What economic empowerment has he done to enhance Nigerians and Nigerian economy? Those are the things we should be looking at. There's somebody who did not do, from what we know, that did not do any kind of enterprise, was not in any kind of employment, did not serve the Nigerian nation in any way other than being governor, being in political office, where he was rewarded handsomely and was able to acquire a lot of wealth for himself. And now he comes to us and insults us and tell us that we are docile and all of that. For me, I think Rotimi Amaechi has shot himself in the foot.
Mr. Gbadamosi,
and I think he should.
Ignoring the messenger, are we not docile as a people? Are we not? Where's the lie?
Nigerians are not docile because Nigerians were the people who chased out the military. Nigerians stood up and their voices were heard, and that's the reason why we have this democracy which Mr. Rotimi Amaechi enjoyed for 24 years, and today is out for 2 years and is all over the place, shouting and telling everybody that has to listen that we must burn down the country. Nigerians are still speaking up. Nigerians every day are waking up in the morning, going to the street and trying to make a living for themselves. Nigerians are strong, vibrant, intelligent people. Yes, we might not be reactive, but each time we decide to react, each time we decide to take our destiny in our hand, we do the right thing.
All right.
And I don't think it is in the place of any leader to come around and rub it in our face and insult Nigerians the way he has done.
All right, Mr. Gbadamosi, we are really out of time now, but just before we draw the curtains on the show, Architect Omgonu, what's your final take on what Amaechi said, Rotimi Amaechi? Away from the messenger now, looking at the message, what do you think Nigerians can do differently? What should Nigerians do differently in terms of holding our leaders accountable?
I have nothing different to say from what I have said already. Perhaps I may just add that, like I've always said, people should also do, they should be involved in budget tracking, you know, because you don't even know how much money comes into your state or local government for particular purposes. Are they being spent for such purposes or are they being stolen? Then people should also clamor for the restructuring of this Nigerian state, so that more powers can devolve to lower levels of governance, the federating units, so that people can immediately be able to relate with those who are handling their funds. You are talking of Amaechi now. He's been our Minister of Transport in this country. I can't remember ever seeing Amaechi one-on-one before. But I have seen the governor of Osun State before. So why are you not putting more funds in the hands of the governor of Osun State so that we can spit in our faces and talk about how the money is spent? So people of Nigeria should get out of the docility. I agree with Amaechi that we are docile, but in a different context. We should clamor for the restructuring of this country. We should go out and vote when it is time to vote. And we should make sure that we hold our leaders accountable for every penny that is sent to them. That will become easier when more funds come into the federating unit than in Abuja. Who is going to hold anybody in Abuja to account for anything? Ever since he's been president, I have not seen President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The last time I saw him was when he was not yet president. Okay. So these are the things that we are talking about.
Now, the states have more money, by the way, as it currently is. Now, you talk about the state having more money. The state have more money.
No, the states don't have more money. You are talking of having absolutely more cash.
Yeah.
And the federal government also still has absolutely even greater cash.
Yeah, everybody has money.
Because the federal government is holding on to 53% of the resources of this country.
You are right.
And I'm saying, please just give me 30 seconds to say this.
Yeah.
Federal government holding on to 53, states, 37 states, 36 plus FCT, holding on to 27, 774 local governments holding on to a mere 20, one entity holding on to 53. Let us go back to what we had in 1954, in 1960, in 1963.
All right.
What was the ratio then?
At that time, the regions held on exclusively to 50%, shared another 30% with the central government, and left only 20% for the central government. So effectively, if that 30% that they shared with the federal government is even taken as 15 apiece, it means that the regions
had 65.
Had 65. That is why they could build the television station. That's the first in Africa. That is why they could build the stadia. That is why they could build the universities. In fact, that is why the northern region was even able to build their own university ahead of any other person.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gbadamosi, your closing short on the program, you know, because it's about the ADC, right? And the politicians, they are talking and they are saying Tinubu must go. Do you think Nigerians should give them a chance?
Well, I think that the ADC is a good thing coming to the platform as an opposition. But I think Rotimi Amaechi is a baggage they should offload and they should do away with. I think it doesn't mean well for them. and it's going to create a lot of problem.
All right.
I expect that the ADC will put his house in order and be able to form a very strong opposition to the incumbent